As you know, we are talking about various procedures involved in administering needs analysis for language program design, right? Now we're gonna take up the issue how to design needs analysis, right? What procedures, as we have already briefly discussed, like we have different procedures: questionnaires, interviews, observation, task analysis, and then we've got case studies. We briefly touched upon their usefulness and their limitations. Okay, so how we can design needs analysis, right? We need to make some practical decisions while we are in the process of designing needs analysis. These decisions would involve, how to collect information, right? Whether to use questionnaires, interviews, or observation, or combination of three elements, right? So these are practical procedures, and how to organize this information, right? I mean, and then how to analyze this one, whether to use quantitative methods of analysis or qualitative ones. So it depends upon the information we have, right? And how to report that collected information. I mean, in a chronological way, starting with the summary, then the contents, and then the literature survey, and then the data collection tools, and then the analysis, right? So while designing language needs analysis, we need to be cautious about one thing, which is about, the element of saturation. By saturation, I mean to say, like, we should be mindful that the data doesn't arrive at the point where there is a overload of information, whereas there is too much of information. For example, if we are collecting information regarding grammar problems, so we should be specific about the grammar problems, and we should stop gathering the data when we have reached the stage of fruition, right? Okay. There are several procedures involved. For example, we can do review of the literature, and then we can get insights from previously done surveys, and we could also interview teachers. And as I have already, in one of the sessions, I have already given example of piloting. So we could also think of, before administering questionnaires or interviews, we could think of piloting it, right? Just to see whether there are some ambiguities or clarity issues, right? And then while designing needs analysis, Richards, in his book, Curriculum Development in Language Teaching, draws our attention towards selection and the scheduling issue as well. I mean, how much population to be selected, and the schedule where, when the interviews or the questionnaire going to take place, right? So these were some of the procedures, and then the procedures also involve some interviews with the relevant people, I mean the students, and then their follow-ups. And then we've got how to analyze, this is one of the practical steps involved in procedures to designing needs analysis. And then, as I have already said, like, there is a systematic way of writing up the final report. Okay. Needs analysis, could be conducted by employing questionnaire at the initial stage, and then we could, after the questionnaires are conducted, we could think of collecting the same information with the help of some individual or group interviews with language learners. I mean, the interviews could be in a school or in an institute or in a place where English is being taught as a specific language, right? Okay. So in order to conduct needs analysis or while designing needs analysis, obviously we'll have to meet the students. And as I've been already emphasizing, the teachers are a responsible party in the needs analysis process. So we could meet both students and teachers and gather their information about the issues taking place, right? And observation is important one. I hope you are familiar with this word observation. I mean, when you want to collect information through observation, you might think of walk into the classroom, sitting in the last bench, and then watching how language is being taught, how learners are taking, whether learners are taking interest or not. So these are the issues which come under the heading of observation. Okay, and then we've got some tests, as I have already said, like the example of hotel employees who need specialized language to greet the customers, to show them the hotel, and asking them about their choices. So obviously we can give small tests to the students to administer needs analysis. So in order to design needs analysis, there are different choices available. These choices, the range is a bit wide, so we need to be sure that we make the decisions which give us a comprehensive view of the needs analysis.